this piece down. See if I could get something about yay long, about yay wide, as straight as I can get it. So here we go. Occasionally use my abrader to do some pretty serious chipping, just to bring angles up where I need them. Sharp like this. So all I do is I try to knock it down a little bit and rough it up. Make sure it's nice and dull. We're just going to take a little one off of here. There you go. Raise that side up so I could get ready to do the next. Get that out of the way. Isolated platform. Alright, I'm going to work this back edge first because I am notorious for getting my blade halfway through and then whacking the back end and breaking the whole thing. So blacks, sometimes it's pretty bad to try and take extra long flakes, but if you have it really, if you have good hold on it and you have everything set up right, you could do it, but a lot of times the glass breaks right here. To roll. There we go. You can see that straightens out my contour. I'm going to try to take this all the way down into there. Take this in. And try to take the middle out this way just a little. I don't know how straight I could keep it, but this is just for fun. I've never had a big piece of glass like this to play with, so I'm just playing with it. Down there could be good, it could be bad. We'll see. We'll see. Never really napped big glass before. I mean, who has glass this big? Just sit up here. Just in case it breaks, I don't have to pay a hospital bill on that. It's pretty good. Alright, we got down that far. I'm going to go ahead and take it all the way down. Start stitching from somewhere. But I think I'll just go ahead and stitch that back first and then try to thin it off and see where we're at. I haven't worked anything that was curved this much before, but we might be able to get it pretty straight by the end. That's the goal. Get it pretty straight by the end. Now, considering my flakes aren't running very long right now anyway, I'm going to go ahead and switch to indirect, and I'm going to see if it runs them a little bit longer, because I'm not really happy with how long those are running right now. We'll see what happens with that. So I just have this little lower platform here, and I'm afraid if I hit that, it's just gonna fold up like a taco no matter how I'm holding it, because the way you support a rock is a little bit different. That went just as well. So probably better to use indirect for the most part. Right here I'm going to change up my angle. Instead of stitching back the other way, I'm going to knock another one down this way, but I'm going to try to run it across this rim just a little bit here. Go. Perfect. the same thing here. I'm going to try to run it this way, and then I'm going to try to do a 90-degree flake. So that way, and then straight like that, and that gets me in ready for that next one, because this curve, it's gonna throw me off if I don't work with it the entire time. Working on a windy day because I don't really have an indoor place, so I just kind of do what I can, facing the wind and whatnot. Plus, it's nature's fan. It blows all that powder away so you don't have to breathe it in. And I brought it way up like that. That way the stitching goes just a little bit easier. And it does. It takes a little bit more material, but I'm going to have to work this thing down a lot anyway just because of that weird curve. So we might only end up with a 3-inch blade out of this whole thing. See, almost none of those angles have been horizontal. All of them have been relatively diagonal. That's because I don't like to put horizontal shock on something that's so long and flat already. So if it was a little bit rounder in the middle, I would try to run them just a little bit more horizontal instead of diagonal. Since I don't want to shock the main portion, I'm just going to hit them kind of diagonal. And it seems to work out pretty good for the most part. This one I hit diagonal. Now I'm going to hit it down at a 90 to get this special stitch pattern set up. Make my edge way further over. And I bring it over just a little bit more. Then I grind it off on both sides. Setting up for every single flake is pretty darn necessary. Some people get really good and fast at it, but I'm not that fast at it yet. diagonal, one to the side, one diagonal, one to the side, one diagonal, one to the side. And that keeps my platform set up to where it's more on this side than on this side for now. Because if you stitch right down the middle, then you have to work through a whole bunch of material to get the flake to run. So if you stitch to where your edge is above center line, which is the key to my stitching technique, is making sure my center line is never in the center. So from the center, I always break my point. Okay, so that was just a little one. I didn't really need much there because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to start taking more off of this part to bring it down in, because that part already has contour. You can see all that. I don't know. It's the first time we've used this camera, so it might have already shut off on me for all I know. Alright, so this one, I want to try to make it go a little further. And it did. And this, I have to do one more right here. Getting the angles just right for your next one keeps it from stalling out on you. If you get it set up too steep and you go to try to stitch, it'll stall out on you sometimes. So right now I'm just going to do a 90, try to prevent the stalling. There we go, it came through. And glass in my hand. Happens pretty often with glass. I don't know why I don't get cut by chert. I always get cut by glass and obsidian. So anyway, now that I got that still way over there, I could try to run that just a little further even. Shaping it up a little at a time. I learn a lot just knapping a piece of glass. So here we go. There we go, got it in there pretty good. Across pretty good. Sometimes there's just a really nice platform on some of these edges where you could just take plenty of stuff off without having to abrade. Most of the time you have to abrade pretty good. So now I'm going to try to take another angle off this way and then another 90. That way I could run a longer flake off of here instead of trying to make a bunch of bevel flakes all the way down. Because if you get carried away with those bevel flakes, your whole piece will get real steep. All your angles will get too steep. And your knapping tools will just bounce off it. Beveling flakes, one at an angle and one at a 90-degree angle. And so this one, I don't know what to do with it really, so that worked out pretty good. Now I gotta try get my edge back over. Do a 90 instead of trying to run it just like that. Made it real steep. There's like a little ridge right there that keeps on failing. So little bit of material right there, fixing that angle. There we go. That looks pretty good. Just gonna grind that down again. And try to run the next one just a little bit further. That didn't work. It crushed. It crushed on me. Try to knock out those crush spots before they cause an issue. Every time I crush one, I'll just hit right above it. Take the whole crushed area out. There we go. That one I had to do the opposite. I had to do a 90 degree and then a diagonal. But it still works pretty good. I have a nice row coming down. And seems like we're straightening it up just a little bit. This one should help a lot in straightening it up if it doesn't break it. That did pretty good. That did pretty good. This one will straighten it up pretty good too if I can get it right. That's okay. That did better. Some people like to file off the tip of their ishi a lot. Once in a while, I'll let a little burr form on there, and I'll use that for the tip, because having a little burr on the tip of your ishi is like having an extra fine little ishi. And that's what they do. I get blue off the other side right there, all perfect and nice. So if you have a little burr and you hang it up in the right place, it'll pull a lot more material off somehow. But it could work against you too. I'm trying to run 90 here. I'm not going to take off any material at all. Alright, now I got this running steep, and I got my ridge right there. I should be able to blow off the tip right there. Really mess the whole thing up. But if I don't do that, then we'll blow it off like right here and be ready to stitch this other side all the way down. You guys can see all I'm doing. See there? Blew it right off the side again. Slightly, just a hair deeper than it was before, which is exactly what I look for when I'm trying to do the tip. I did forget I was going to do the tail first, didn't I? Now since I'm already to the tip, I'm going to go ahead and work to the tip and then rough it out a little bit, I guess. I don't know what to do with it. Never worked this stuff before. Not in this big of a piece. Only worked glass 5 times. And it's fun. It's a little bit unpredictable. I was gonna make this whole thing with direct percussion, but I got scared. Direct percussion could be pretty scary. I ran right off the tip right there. That's it's doing good for straightening it up a little. You never know, I might be able to straighten up this whole thing. Now that I got that evened out, I'm going to grind it off a little bit. I'm going to keep it on there for the most part. I'm going to go ahead and work this back ridge before I get too deep. So I did bring my bevel down with my stitching down to this side so I could take from this side first. So I'm going to be running this way and this way and then this way, and then hopefully that'll bring me up to here and I could just do a couple of dressing flakes across that TV screen. People used to watch this thing. I mean, Bill Cosby used to be on here. I guarantee you Bill Cosby was on here. Not that anybody's impressed by that, but, you know. Depending on what year it was from, I mean. Mr. T was on here. People watch Mr. T on this. It's a pretty good little start. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to try to run this one. Right, I did okay. Didn't go as far as I thought it was going to. But just practicing some old Ishi. I think everybody could use a little practice with Ishi. That one down in there pretty good. Nice bevel. Grind off that bevel. Let's see. Let me get rid of some of this glass. There we go. Did alright. Hoping once we get contoured in, I should be able to run a little bit better flakes. Because flakes coming into this big chunk of glass has been kind of strange. Anybody who did come in to watch this video, I hope you learned something. I hope it's a little bit enjoyable through most of it, through part of it. All I try to do is make as big of a piece as I can. And I think that's pretty much all everybody does. I actually got a hinge right here. There was a cut in the TV. If you look right here, dirt's still in there. There was a cut right there. And this side beveled up real sharp right there. There's a little piece of the bevel still left and I didn't see it. So that's okay, because I didn't need that one to run anyway. I lost my original braiding stone. There we go. Get the good of braiding stone back. Try to get this weird TV ridge off of here. It's like the ridges in your microwave. Something like that. Did great. Starting to get something a little bit straighter. I work it enough, I might be able to straighten it up. See what happens. It's pretty fun anyway. Just doing my same stitching flake there. Stitching pattern. I could try to keep my bevel down. Let's get it straightened up just a little bit. Alright. Try to put enough meat on it. Hopefully this goes in pretty far. Guess I could switch over to this guy. See what it does. Didn't do much. It came up short, but gave me 2 more good platforms. Direct percussion on glass is a little tricky sometimes. Got all the way to there. That's pretty good. Alright, if I could get a couple that long coming up into here, we could get this thing straightened out. And bent my ishi a little bit. Sometimes I use that to my advantage too. Tricky in some areas whenever you're working a curved piece like this. I got 2 platforms here. I'm hoping I could run real nice long flakes and go down into it. Like this one, I'm hoping I could get it into here somewhere, and I'll have a chance. If I could get it in there, I'll have a chance. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so you see the way my ishi stick is bent. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's bent slightly that way. So if I want to run a flake, I'm going to take that bent part and hook it right into my platform and work with my angle to try to push the flake off, just like I was going to do with a horn or with pressure flake. So this one, I'm going to try to bite it pretty deep. And I got the thing pointing towards it. Right down in there, almost all the way, like I said. That's far enough. So that's the cool thing about the angle of your little ishi tip. If you have copper and you point point that little tip towards where you're going to be hitting. You could run a much longer flake when you need to. Here to learn how to nap, but I've been napping a long time. I have a slightly different style than some folks out there, but it doesn't really matter what style you have, as long as you could make something pretty good out of the stuff you're working with. And once in a while, I make some pretty good stuff. There we go. Got all that jibber jabber off there. Alright, starting to straighten up a little bit. We stay at it, we might get a straight piece out of this and keep most of the length. But dressing it up and taking it down until I get in here a little bit. Tip I got pretty much brought over, so yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's pretty neat. Hopefully I could dress it up at the end with something pretty neat, some good flakes, but who knows. Pretty fun to work with. That's one thing for sure. Fun. It's 90% of it, I think. If anybody's having fun, they're out of the way of at least 10 other people. Just a tad bit more. And braid it back down that way. Grab this side first to seal up some of those little cracks, some of those little micro hinges. That makes it to where I could run stuff a little better sometimes too. This one I'm trying to shoot for in here somewhere, and it's got a lot of meat on it, so we'll see what could break the whole thing. Got in there pretty good. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. And I got this platform here. I'm going to do with it. Braid it down that way a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to shoot this one straight into here. If that don't work, then I'm going to shoot from here into here. Just something to get that little middle sector off. But I still haven't finished stitching the back yet, so let me do that. There we go. But it shaved off my burr. There we go. just set up one angle and just hope for the best. There's I peeled it all the way off over to this side. Now I'll have a good edge to come in from later on right there, and I won't have to work down to it. Sometimes happy accidents happen, and you learn how to do it on purpose. I'll try to do something similar with this one. Have my angle set up to run some. There we go. And I brought that one way up so I could nibble off this whole spot, and we might have it straight. Pretty fun trying. Get some of these flakes off me. Let's see here. Ridge right there, set right into it. Take a little minor off right here. Yeah, now I got a nice ridge coming in. Now if I could shoot this one all the way into here and clear all that out, it's going to save me so much work. So again, I'm going to take that, point it in. We're going to put it right on the platform. We're going to hit it in at a pretty good angle. Boom. See there? It tore all of that off there. Made a really beautiful scar as well. So those are dangerous flakes to take, but they're worthwhile, because if you don't take those ones, then you'll just sit there fighting to try to get into it. In my experience anyway. Now these ones I don't have to try to fight to get in there because I'm already cleared. All I gotta do is contour stuff. Take one more row off of here and try to smoothen them out so I could get all these rough little areas out where I was hitting an angle. I gotta underbite all of those and try to just bring them into this smooth area. This is the angle I'm grinding all these off so it won't stall out on me. Get any crush finished platforms. I'm running these flakes like this. I like to have a real nice thick platform. Like right here, I'm going to try to come across and just peel all that chewy stuff off there. And I think it'll work. And it crushed. It crushed on me. Try from the other side. Look at that. All that chewy stuff off there. And now I have a ridge coming down this way from there. So if I hit this platform at an angle coming this way, I could take this chewy stuff off. I didn't get quite in there, but I had another chance. I did it. Typically I have a couple of chances. Straighter, this side's still, even straightening up a little. What I'm doing is I'm taking the sharp edge of my abrader, just going down, all the way down this side. And I got it like that. I will braid it back off the other way. That'll change my angle enough to where I could get a few more flakes to thin this tail end off. Get that one just right. Almost. Pretty good. Straightening it out pretty good. Pretty good blade. Shape it up. When you get to the tip, you don't have to be scared because it's just like the rest. But there is a little tip I got for you for working on the tip. Is if you chip towards the tip, always chip towards the tip, you'll end up breaking way less. Go peels off again. Peels off real perfect. Temporary loss for my other braider. Tip of this thing off. See how it has this big old lump on here? I'm going to try to take all that off with one hit. It's because it's way easier that way. So, I got myself straightened up pretty good. And now I just got to stitch this side. And that should be pretty hard. Let's see what happens. Sometimes I get crazy with the abrader. Not always a good idea. Right now I want to try to get this little area off before I go any further because it looks really bad. That didn't help a whole lot, but it helped some. So I'm hoping when I come over from here I could clean that up just a little. It should work. Now we're just stitching again. I'm trying to keep the platform on this side after this, so I'll take this off and take it off again, and my platform will be right here. Change the angle of any of that, but I could change the angle of this one, so I could push this one further in instead of trying to stitch my way to it. So this is going to be a running flake from a stitching flake, if it works right. Didn't work quite right, but I have a chance to fix it anyhow. Looks like I have quite a few chances to fix it. Glass injury. Every time I get cut, I get sliced, I just go ahead and clean off the glass right then. Use that as an indicator. Time to clean the shit off. Pardon my language. Okay, this is gonna be a running flake for real this time. I don't know. Might not again. Didn't run too well, but it did okay. Okay, now we're not gonna run anymore until we set up some good platforms, but I was just trying to take a bunch off of this bottom right here as much as I could right away. So do it. That one came across pretty good. They always do on the curved side though. One more. No. It didn't give us another one. Anyway, I got most of that. TV gunk off there. Now I just got a stitch. Try to straighten it up again. Blood going everywhere. I think the camera's still on. Let's see here. starting to fall asleep on me. But that's what happens when I sit Indian style. No offense. I'm part Indian. Great. Little tiny minor off right there. Should be able to get that one to run pretty good just like that. We can fan it right over into those last flakes. That's pretty good. Pretty good. So some people don't like braiding for every single flake. I understand, but it really helps me get my piece made without breaking it. Some quail that come in every day start squawking. I don't know if you could hear them in the background. The microphone is not so well. Blew the other side off that time. I was blowing the side off from that way, and now I'm blowing it off from the other side, and it's evening it out really good. Wasn't expecting it to, but good job. Good job, glass. Stitching it too, and I gotta come in and try to take this section out and take this section out. This section should be easy. This one, not guaranteed. Broke the whole tip off. That's really all that came off. Right there. Not much. Maybe a quarter inch, but I probably needed that, to be honest. So, come right here. Now I'll try to make a bearing flake across there and clean that whole thing up. If it breaks again, we just won't have a video. There's some tip going on. It's starting to look pretty neat. I don't like it. This is going to do because we got some string jigging. Did okay. Just stylishly breaking it into shape. What else can you do? Got a platform right here. I think I could come over into this. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Never quite had a curve like that before to work with. If it don't work, we'll come up with something. Just mowing it off. Just mowing it off. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. Let's see what this one does. Didn't do good, but next one might do better. Did pretty good. Got in there. I was hoping it would work like that. Really hoping. So, I got that. See if I could try to come in right here, sneak in between that little hinge. See if I could get in there. Looks like I can. I don't know. Let's see. Look at that. It's not right next to the hinge. Came too far over. Another chance right here. That could sneak right next to that hinge and get me ready to clean that side up. That's what I'm hoping for. Got next to it again. But still, kinda helped. straight. Got that bent piece of glass straight. My ass is getting tired. So I'm going to bang around on it for a couple more minutes. And I'm going to go get some dinner. So I'm getting a little bit hungry now. Let's even it out just a touch. There we go. Now if I could just run some good flakes over, make it look kind of pretty. I don't have a big neat looking blade thing. Get alright. It's evening out really nice. Back up to the tip. Nice. It's got even. It's got some evenness going on. Pretty good. So I have this one little hinge to deal with, and it's gonna be weird because I think I'll have to get it from this side. I don't know, because it does have a little bit of TV glass surface right there, and a big streak of it here. So maybe while I'm working it all down, it'll all straighten up on its own. Anyway, I'm gonna take one more roll of thinners down this way. Good. Pretty good. Pretty even. We got that pretty darn even. Ouch. Just cut myself again. Shucks. Didn't see it bleeding, but it hurt. Let's see. A couple more. Okay. Okay. My preform for the day. I don't know if you can see it that good, but pretty good preform. Took the curve out. You can see how much of a curve this stuff has in it. So that's what I got. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. I don't really care. I would care if you wanted to send a comment. I really like people telling me if I did good or bad. to have a conversation about it and just learn some more. So it's looking pretty cool. I like how you can see the flake scars behind. You can see the flake scars in front, you know, through. It's pretty cool. But anyway, if I could get this thing to turn out, that would be pretty cool. I'm tired of working on it for right now. So I'm going to take a break and go eat. Giant TV glass arrowhead blade thing. Thanks for watching. I'll come back with a part 2. Peace. So we got this thing. It looks pretty good. I had a little nipple right here. A little devil's tower. But I think I might be able to get it off. Not completely sure. I'm going to try to get it off right now. See what happens. If it breaks the whole thing, then we don't have a video. There it goes. It came off. Now we still have a video. Come off this way just a little bit. Try to get this other little piece off. There we go. I got some off. Little nipples are really tricky. Little things. If you hit it slightly wrong, it'll split your whole piece. So, there we go. Got it pretty much all the way off. If I mess with it anymore, I'm gonna make a hole through the arrowhead. Alright, so I don't make things this big very often, so I don't really know what to do from here. I think I'm just going to try to even it out a bit and then go from there. But it looks kind of even. So, this is a pretty side. This is not quite as. for some pressure. I messed it up pretty bad right there. And I don't know if there's any coming after that. It's pretty bad. It's like a hinge that can't be caught. But still kind of neat. So I don't know. I might go ahead and work it down till I could get it out of there. It's kind of hard to see. Well, looks like that's about all I'm going to be able to do with it. Thin down that tip just a little more if I can. might get a tip on there someday.